Well, good morning, Wheatley Baptist Church family. It's Pastor Dave here with a weekly update for you as usual. I hope you've got to enjoy a wonderful weekend that we had. You can probably tell by some of my skin color. I spent a lot of that time this weekend in the sun. Really grateful for that. And I hope your week is off to a great start already as well. Again, the sun's going to play a prominent role in our week. And I really hope you're able to start to feel a little bit of summer and feel, the opportunity to get out and explore God's creation while we have this wonderful weather. And, that's one thing I wanted to just touch on briefly with you before we jump into some updates for this week. I remember when COVID started and we found ourselves at home and in some cases isolated more than we desired to be. One of the things that I heard over and over again was how some of that wasn't so bad. How the pace of life had slowed and how some of you had been able to return to a very consistent and even in some cases lengthy time of prayer and also how you spent time in His Word, how you were in the Bible learning and a lot of you and I had discussion about that. You were really great about sending me questions and we were digging into some wonderful things. And, I just want to maybe encourage you to take a bit of caution as the world starts to reopen. Reopening means different things for different people right now geographically for sure. But one thing I don't want it to mean is this return to a pace of life that probably was not sustainable for many of us. And I need to put my hand up there too. It was very, very busy and slowing down, being forced to slow down, that wasn't all that bad. Two things I would encourage you on this week and in the coming weeks. One is prayer. As I said, many of you talked to me about that. As we wrap up this all day, everyday series that we're working on, that's going to be a little bit later on in the summer because we've got a chunk to go through there yet. But we're going to spend a great deal of time, a number of works, investigating and discovering what there is to learn about the Lord's Prayer, the perfect prayer taught to us by the perfect person. And so I would just encourage you, if you're looking or struggling maybe because the world's drawing you back in slowly, jump into the Lord's Prayer. Sit with that prayer. Just say a verse, think about that, pray about that, meditate on that. Say another verse, think about that, meditate on that, pray over that. Matthew 6 starts at verse 9. You can. That's where you find it. Or one of the places to find it. So I just encourage you with that. The other thing, like I said, so many of you talked to me about being in God's Word. You sent me wonderful, wonderful questions. Hey, what does this mean? What would we think about that? Where can I find more information? Friends, my prayer for you is that this time of reopening does not speed up your world so much that you have to give up some of your study there. Psalm 119 verse 18 says, "Open my eyes to see the wonderful truths in your instructions." That's Psalm 119 verse 18 from the NLT. There's wonderful truths in there, not just instruction, but encouragement and guidance and wisdom, as we're talking so much about these days. I just encourage you to consider how can you maintain some of the time you've been given in God's Word, and not to get enticed back into our old normal, but how are you going to use times of prayer and times of God's Word, these things that you have rediscovered or discovered more fully in some way, however that's worked for you, how are you going to use those things as you've experienced to move forward into our new season of life? So I really encourage you, and if you want to talk more about that, I always am available to you to do that. I've just three quick announcements for you. Just a reminder, our Bible study, 6:30 p.m. We had some issues with weather and internet connectivity last week, and so we're going to do a little recap of what we did last week because we lost some people virtually anyways, and then we'll move on to into James chapter 3. So just encourage you, if you're interested and you haven't been with us yet, no problem. Just give me a shout, send me an email or a text or whatever, and I'll be happy to get you hooked up there. And then again, our prayer night on 7 p.m. on Facebook, our community prayer night with Pastor John Katz and Pastor Matt Pollitt from here in town. And then our Sunday online service. Again, we're not intending to meet in person until July the 5th. So we'll see you on the usual places on Facebook and our website on July 5th as we acknowledge Father's Day. For sure, we need to do that for all of our favorite guys in our families. And then I want to encourage you to just be mindful of some video posts that are going to come at you in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to put out a very specific and dedicated post this Friday. As you would appreciate, there's lots of rules and lots of guidelines and already lots of revisions to guidelines about what churches can do and can't do and are encouraged to do and not encouraged to do. There's so much terminology in that. And as I said, some of that's actually changed in just 1 week's time. It's one of the reasons we're being intentional about not rushing back in, but having a time of understanding and reflection and look for God's wisdom and look for your feedback in that as well. So this Friday we'll have a video post up for you. We're going to share a bunch of the survey results that we've garnered from your feedback and some of the things that we know very specifically we will be doing and that we won't be doing in the church building when we meet again on July the 5th. So just to ask for your continued prayers. Again, if you're hearing things or have questions and don't want to wait for video posts, by all means you can reach out to us and do that, and we'll be happy to process anything there too. So please look out for that on Friday. Some just review of some guidelines that we know of today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Look forward to bumping into you if that happens to be the case. I'll see you on Sunday when we gather for worship. Blessings.